urgent rescue operation is underway right now. 7 people have been trapped deep inside a cave for nearly a week. Crews have to squeeze through 1,100 feet of a tight tunnel system. Look at this video. Some areas are only 23 inches wide. And this is all happening in the Asian country of Laos. The Associated Press reports that the people were searching for gold in the cave when flash flooding blocked their way out. CNN's Mike Valerio is following this story from Beijing. Mike, bring us up to speed on this truly daring mission.
Pamela, I think the most notable element of this mission is that from the Thai soccer team rescue of 2018, if we all remember that drama, there are 2 rescuers from that are part of this rescue effort in Laos. And to give you a better idea of some of the narrowest openings, we're talking about 23 inches here. That is this wide. You know, I can't even fit through that for just perspective here. The video, you're right, is completely harrowing. You see the jagged edges of these damp caves. And to give you some perspective of the journey that these rescuers have to go on, the cave length to get to where these 7 people are believed to be is about 1,115 feet. That is essentially the height of the Empire State Building in New York. So the same distance we're talking about here. They've been in this cave for almost a week, but there is hope, Pamela, because they're believed to be on an elevated ridge inside this cave system that has access to air. But when you're looking at the video, there's one of the Thai cave divers who comes up for air and he says pretty poignantly to the video that he posted on Facebook, "This is where the 7 people should be, and I don't see them." As you mentioned, they were looking for gold in this part of Laos in Saisonbun province because there are gold deposits there. Flash flood came in almost a week ago, and then one person who was part of that group managed to get out of there and tell municipal authorities that the group needed help. So this is taking on global dimensions now. It is very hard to get information out of Laos, Pamela, but people are watching this being live streamed on Facebook and all sorts of online platforms. So we're watching to see if these cave divers who pulled off a miracle in 2018 are able to repeat this with the 7 people who are looking for gold in Laos, Pamela.
Wow, those rescuers are so brave. Mike Valerio in Beijing, thank you so much.
Well, Mikko Pasi is an instructor, trainer with the Tech Dive Asia, a group involved in the rescue operation, and he joins us now from Laos. Mikko, thank you so much for taking the time. You pulled off the miraculous rescue in 2018 in Thailand. I'm just wondering, given what you've experienced there and the conditions now that those who are trapped are facing today, just walk us through any similarities, any differences here, any new challenges.
Okay, thank you for having me. Compared to the Laos mine rescue, compared to Tham Luang cave rescue, completely 2 different scenarios, I would say. When we go back to 2018, think about the Thai cave rescue, Tham Luang cave system is about 10 kilometers long, natural cave, where we have like chambers size of hundreds of meters in diameter. Now where we are at the moment in Laos doing the mine rescue, it's first of all, it's man-made environment, so it's dug by hand. It's extremely small, tight complex of tunnels. Not 10 kilometers, but 300 something plus meters. But all the tunnels there's no natural flow. First of all, it's a mine that's supposed to be dry, but then in the rainy season, sometimes they flood like this one. The tunnels are so small that when we went there yesterday, first time for a dive and to see how the conditions are, we need to leave our side mount system outside or the wing because I couldn't fit in through the first restriction and through the tunnels with my side mount wing at all. So we're talking about every centimeter counts, and some of the restrictions, the tight spots in this mine are so tight that you need to exhale to wiggle through. So I'm not that big person. I'm 180 and 90 kilos, but still I'm a big person compared to a Laotian miner. So for us cave divers, it's very hard to move around in that mine, and the restrictions are not short; they are constant. They are tens of meters or hundreds of meters long before you come to a next chamber. Other than that, yes, both of these places in Thailand and Laos, they are very remote areas, and that it's collecting there's a big village building up in Laos at the moment, right outside the mine.
Mikko, I was just sort of reading up on this story. I was kept on thinking to myself, what on earth it must be like for the people who are actually trapped in this cave, because there are so many sort of primal fears that we as human beings have, some of them rational, some of them irrational. But when you're trapped in a cave and that cave is flooding, so many of those fears are activated at once. You've got the darkness, the fact that you're worried that nobody's going to find you, the feeling of sort of being trapped, the feeling of being isolated, the feeling of potential drowning. There's just so many fears. And it is virtually impossible in that kind of scenario not to panic, even though if you panic, it can cause all sorts of problems. It is so difficult not to panic. Can you explain to our audience what the people who are trapped in this tunnel must be going through?
Not really, but I can try. We're not talking about kids this time. We're talking about migrants who do this for work. So this is something that we thought about also, like how is their mental health at the moment. But I would start from the fact that over here in Laos, the way they mine these gold mines is that they pack their backpack, they put food and water into the backpack, and they crawl inside the mine in order to mine for a few days at least, and then come out. So they're kind of like prepared to stay there for a few days. And if you're a miner as your profession, I'm sure you are pretty good with claustrophobic environment, in a claustrophobic environment, and can handle that quite well. So in this case, I think the mentality of this group is one of the strongest points, as they are used to work and live kind of underground.
Mikko, at this point, just to be clear, have you detected any sign of life thus far from those 7 trapped?
This time, no, none, to be honest. Yes, we are now 260, 80 meters into the mine. It's hard to estimate. There's no maps of this place. And there's a terminal chamber where they are assumed to be resting or taking shelter if everything went fine and they find that place when the mine was flooding. This place should have it's described to us that it has an elevated dry section, and the chamber is big enough to handle 10 people, and it's quite high, so there's gas to breathe for a few days at least, and it should be dry to avoid hypothermia for the victim. But at the moment, we haven't reached that chamber yet. Diving is so difficult with restrictions where you can't move, turn around, or do, and the visibility is zero. So the making ground is very slow process, and we need to think about our safety as well. So we are 30 meters away from that chamber, and hoping that soon we will reach and find out if they are alive or if they're even there.
Well, your help in Thailand led to a miracle there, and we are all praying for one as well in Laos as well. Thank you so much for everything that you're doing and for joining us, Mikko Pasi.